Welcome to The Explainer. You know, the story of artificial intelligence, it's not some smooth upward climb. Not at all. It's way more like a roller coaster, right? You've got these incredible highs, full of hype and promise, followed by these gut-wrenching drops of disappointment. So today, we're going to jump on that ride and explore the crazy history of AI's booms and busts.
This quote right here, this is the AI we've been dreaming about for decades. A machine that can think, that can talk, that can reason, and maybe even rebel. We're talking about a truly conscious AI, the stuff of science fiction. So that's the dream. But what about the reality? What have we actually gotten? To really get a handle on the incredible, almost magical tools we have at our fingertips today, we've got to look back. We have to understand the decades of frankly overblown promises and the really harsh reality checks that always seem to follow. All right, let's dive into that. Because our obsession with AI, it didn't start with some researcher in a lab coat. No, it started in the movies, on the silver screen, almost 100 years ago. This was way before the first real computer even existed.
And this is where it all began, back in 1927. The movie was Metropolis, and it basically set the stage for everything that came after. It showed a robot leading a workers' revolt, and that tapped right into the anxieties people had about the industrial age. It asked the big question we are still wrestling with today. What happens when the things we build turn on us?
And as our own tech got more sophisticated, so did our fears in the movies. It's fascinating, right? We went from worrying about outside threats, like the alien-controlled machines in War of the Worlds, to something way more personal, more existential. You look at movies like Blade Runner or Her, and suddenly the questions are so much deeper. They're asking, what does it even mean to be human when we're sharing the world with machines that can think? Okay, so Hollywood was off dreaming up these amazing and terrifying futures. But back in the real world, early AI research was on a collision course with a really brutal reality check. All that hype was about to smash head-on into the hard limits of what technology could actually do. And this collision, it led to what we now call the first AI winter. It's a key term you gotta know. It basically defines this whole boom and bust cycle. Think of it like this. The hype gets so massive, so out of control, that when reality hits and the promises can't be kept, everything just freezes over. Funding dries up, interest disappears. A deep freeze. So where did the hype come from this first time? A big one was machine translation. Remember, this was the height of the Cold War. The US government was pouring millions and millions of dollars into this idea that a machine could instantly translate Russian documents. And the researchers, well, they were making some pretty bold predictions. They thought a breakthrough was right around the corner.
But here's the problem in a nutshell. The machines back then had zero common sense, no context. They could swap words, sure, but they couldn't understand meaning. This led to some legendary, though maybe not totally real, translation blunders, like this one here. The spirit is willing but the flesh is weak becomes the vodka is good but the meat is rotten. I mean, it gets the words kind of right, but the meaning? Not even close. So that early optimism just faded away, and the disappointment eventually got official. A couple of really damning reports came out, the Alpac report in the US and the Lighthill report in the UK, and they basically said, this isn't working. And just like that, click. The funding was cut, they effectively pulled the plug, and AI research was frozen solid for the better part of a decade. But winter doesn't last forever, right? After things thawed out, AI came roaring back in the 1980s. And this time it had a brand new promise, something that sounded a lot more focused and practical. They were called expert systems. The idea was simple. Build an AI that could mimic the decision-making of a human expert in one specific, narrow field. And corporations, they saw dollar signs. There were some early huge successes. Take the XCON system. It helped a company configure its computer systems, and it saved them an estimated $40 million. $40 million! Suddenly, this looked like the real deal. This looked like money. And the hype? It just exploded. By 1985, companies were pumping over $1 billion into AI. $1 billion. And most of that was going towards building their own in-house expert systems. But you can probably guess what's coming next, right? Just like before, this massive boom, well, it was built on a really shaky foundation. And when it all came crashing down this time, the AI winter that followed was even longer and even colder. Get this. An entire industry worth $500 million had sprung up just to build these specialized computers called Lisp machines to run the AI. And then poof, in a single year, it was basically wiped out. Why?
Because cheaper, more powerful desktop workstations came along and could do the job just as well.
But beyond the hardware, the expert systems themselves were just flawed. They were brittle, meaning if you gave them an unexpected question, they'd just break and give you a bizarre answer. They couldn't learn or adapt on their own, and they were crazy expensive to build and maintain. For most businesses, it was just impossible to see a real return on investment.
This second winter was so bad, so long, that the term artificial intelligence itself became toxic. If you used it, you were seen as a wild-eyed dreamer, someone not to be taken seriously. Researchers literally had to start calling their work something else, like machine learning or intelligent systems, just to have a shot at getting funding.
And all of that, it brings us to right now, to today, a period of absolutely mind-blowing progress that everyone is calling the AI spring. The flowers are blooming. But the big question hanging over everything is, have we actually learned anything from all those past mistakes?
I mean, just look at the money. The level of investment today completely dwarfs anything we've seen before. We're not talking 1 billion, we're talking tens of billions. And it feels different this time. It's not just hype, it's being driven by genuine breakthroughs, especially in something called deep learning. It's basically a way for computers to learn from just unimaginable amounts of data. And now we finally have the data and the raw computing power to make it happen.
But you know what really makes this boom feel different? The tech isn't locked away in some secret corporate lab anymore. It's in our hands. Tools like ChatGPT got to 100 million users in just 2 months. Think about that. It's producing powerful, tangible tools that anyone, you or me, can use. And it's fundamentally changing how we all work, create, and even talk to each other.
So, that's where we are. And it leaves us with the billion-dollar question, doesn't it? After this incredible history of booms and busts, of hype and disappointment, have we finally broken the cycle? Is this time really different, or are we just standing at the very peak of the biggest AI boom in history, with another long, cold winter waiting for us just around the corner?
Well,